James Bond car chases have come a long way. This was the very first one from Dr. No, and it relies solely on Sean Connery's face acting. Compare that to the last car chase from Die Another Day, and you can see how high the stakes have been raised in 30 years. Both Bond's Aston and the baddie's Jag were laden with weaponry and totally re-engineered from standard. The original gearboxes were replaced, a four-wheel drive system was fitted for better traction on the ice, and the engines were swapped for Chevy V8s to allow more room for missiles. So, what are Fifth Gear's top 5 Bond chases? Well, using a non-scientific scoring system that gives extra points for realism and rewards inventiveness, here they are. At number 5, it's The Living Daylights. Originally, the chase was meant to involve yachts skidding on the surface of this Austrian lake, but the ice wasn't thick enough to support the weight, so they had to use cars instead.
Cutting the hole in the ice by the car was actually shot in Pinewood Studios, and it was a specially rigged piece of ice that we rigged to go down on a hydraulic lift, funny enough. It wasn't shot in Austria at all. The Aston had to fly over this dam. We achieved that by fitting the dummy body shell of a car with a nitrogen cannon.
Brace yourself.
It really is just a piston which is fired out using the high pressure nitrogen, and it rocketed over.
At number 4, it's A View to a Kill, and a chase designed by the man who choreographed The Italian Job, Remy Julien. The chase lasts for less than a minute, but took 1 week to film. It looks easy, but jumping onto a moving target, not much wider than the car itself, took months to rehearse. The next stunt is typical of Remy's originality. Slicing the back off a car when the driver is so exposed has to be timed perfectly.
What I do remember is I had to drive it without the windshield, and driving a car, at 35, 40, 50 miles an hour is very hard on the eyes because that wind is just blowing in and unprotected. So I really wasn't seeing where I was going. That was a bit hairy.
Number 3 is The Spy Who Loved Me, and the car chase that happens underwater. There was no actual Lotus Esprit that turned into a submarine. Instead, they used a variety of scale models floating in front of model rocks and built a full-sized submersible to attach the gadgets to.
The Lotus Esprit, a great-looking car. Great car to drive. Not a great car, I found, for working with, because it overheated while you were sitting waiting. By the time it came to shoot, it would cut out. So I was not mad about it. I was even less mad about it when in the end I said, well, maybe I'll buy one. And they said, well, they'd give me 2% off.
At number 2, it's GoldenEye, one of our favourites just because of the sheer amount of destruction. Originally written as a motorcycle chase, Chris Corbould suggested using a tank would be far more spectacular.
The particular difficulties of a tank are, A, its weight. They weren't too keen on us driving around St. Petersburg with very old sewer systems in a 20-plus ton tank. And just, it's not the fastest from 0 to 60. It involved starting the tank about half a mile back down the runway.
You'd never spot the drawings, but half the chase was shot on location in Russia and half on a backlot in Watford. This chase came at a crucial time in Bond history. It was Pierce Brosnan's first outing, and the franchise was in desperate need of refreshing. The solution was to combine incredible action with humour and the destruction of lots of police cars. What a guy. At number 1, and our favourite Bond chase of all time, it's Tomorrow Never Dies. It's got everything you want, great driving and great gadgets. Neatest of all is the fact that BMW 750 appears to be remote control.
We had a stuntman in the back sitting down in the rear passenger footwell with 2 little lipstick cameras mounted in the fronts of the mirrors, back 3 little monitors wrapped around the steering wheel, if you like, where the stuntman was crammed down in the bottom footwell.
Although you can see the direction you're going in, it's not easy to establish the depth of how far you are away from something.
We love the fact that it's all live action and there's no CGI. So when the wheel reinflates, it looks totally realistic. But how do they do it?
We just pumped air into a deflated tyre, but we took the weight of the car by having a jockey wheel behind the wheel that you see in the film. And that little jockey wheel was on a hydraulic arm. That would come down and lifted the car back up, thus reinflating the tyre.
It took 1 month to film, with 10 days spent just doing close-ups with Pierce. A special TVR camera car was made to give a great sense of speed, but what seals this as number 1 is the funniest of all conclusions. Again, it's the trusty nitrogen cannon that fires the 7 Series home.
Congratulations on a safe journey.
Oh, you can't beat a bit of Bond, can you?
No way, Jose. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.